Okay, I declare this one pertinent for an upload it stays on subject, and it's also in response to chain of command and stuff that Jeff Claw has said about J-Chuck and the whole chain of command thing. So Raz does a perfectly good upload. Yeah, it's perfect. But what Jeff Claw did was he walked into a trap, which I just jumped right on, because as far as people bickering among themselves, and even my first comments, let's say a year ago, I said, why do these originals act like they own the goddamn area when there's all kinds of pertinent information coming up and input and theories? And he could have went here, he could have went there. And I kept saying over and over, why do they act like they own the goddamn area, like they're offended if anybody comes in from so-called the outside? Well, no, he wouldn't hear of it. I was crazy. That's crazy. Maybe he's had a couple beers too much. Okay, now let's look down at the comments. Let's look down at the comments. Okay, now don't forget what I've been uploading. That I repeatedly have said, why do you act like you're the policeman of the area? That you're a person that goes up, you looked. I didn't know if he was part of the originals with Sean or not, and it turns out he was. That in Sean's videos, he's probably one of them, which is fine. But just because they were the first ones that went up with little to go on to begin with, I kept saying, why does that make you the policeman of the area? And someone says, I want to take a drone up there to find the remains. And he jumps right on it, you know, states the law to them. Okay, and yet each time I got beat down. So now let's look down the comments. And Jeff Claw, you stepped right into this, and I'm calling you on it. Chain of command, whole bit, even ties in with the subject of Wrath's upload. I said I didn't say nothing about no chain of command. Okay, now let's keep going. Here comes Jeff Claw. Your moment is approaching. Your moment is approaching, and everyone's going to see it. Here it is. It was only Sean and myself for 4 years. And then suddenly, within a few months, Wrath, Artari, really Robin, Jay Silverheels, Jay Chuck, Natal, Aquachigger, Mystery Hikers, Explore with us, all popped up and invaded. Okay, so I popped up and I invaded, where I kept bitching that there's no problem, but why you don't own the area? Those were my first words said. I remember, you know, a year ago. You don't own the area. Everyone is given input, new thoughts. But we popped up and invaded. Now let's look at some more. We invaded. Jeff Claw says, what made you all appear at the same time? He's saying that to Warlike Wrath? This blue, I think he's replying to Warlike Wrath. What made you all appear at the same time, as if we're a bunch of invaders? When 4 years ago they had nothing, absolutely nothing but Martians and MCapes. Okay, now I'm just warming up. That I feel Sean was the original king. Now this is Spain wins numero uno with the original king. So notice the concept that the first people that went up are considered kings and the owners of the area. Sean was the only person that wasn't Jeff Claw saying that he was the king. I thought it was. I admit that when I started this upload. The king. Sean was the king. The king. There ain't no king. It's searching for missing remains of a hiker. There is no king over nobody. So Jeff Claw says, Sean was the only person keeping this mystery alive for years, as no one else was doing anything. Correct. That is correct. Nobody had anything to go on. And he never claimed his covered in cave gave him cancer. I don't know about. I don't know if he has cancer or not. But if he has cancer like on his shin, that's bone cancer. His shin started rupturing, and he felt a neoplasm by the bone. About 1 week after he fell sick from passing the M cave. But no, I'd be concerned about that because that's how Lloyd died. He died at 21, and it turned out it was bone cancer. But anyway, that's it. Actually, the coup de grace was going to be that they said Sean was the king. But it's still the same thing. A person is still associated with Jeff Claw. Spain wins numero uno. He's clearly associated with Jeff Claw, and Sean was the king. The king. So as far as chain of commands, why did the first people go up there? They didn't have much to go on. It's not their property.